Hey everyone, and welcome to another playthrough video of Warfighter World War II by DWG Games here on the World War II Solitaire board game channel. I'm gonna do a few longer missions by request of Alexander, and I thought it would also be fitting since there is the Warfighter Kickstarter going on right now with two new core games for the World War II entry. The Mediterranean and the North African campaigns. So today we're gonna play the mission House to House. We have a resource value of 35. Our time is set to 9. The objective is in location number 4. Our loadout is unchanged. We have to move the timer counter forward one, losing one turn for each time I play a nature card. So we want to avoid those nature card locations during this game. For my team, I have selected 3 soldiers. I have selected player soldiers, Yandy. He has the M1 rifle with 2 MK2 grenades. My second soldier is McDougall, I can't pronounce that. He starts with 3 experience points, and he also unfortunately does have the panic skill, which forces him to suffer a suppression if one of his teammates are downed. I've equipped this guy with the M1 carbine rifle. He also has 2 grenades. And then I've chosen 1 squad soldier, and it's Scott. He starts with 1 experience point. And you might wonder why I go with this expensive one. Well, I've actually played with different tactics, and I kind of started liking buying more expensive soldiers with a higher movement value, as you gotta keep moving, because if you have soldiers in several zones, you're gonna have a lot of Germans spawning. So I want to keep them all together. I want to keep them all in the same location to avoid multiple German spawning. Anyway, our mission is bunker clearing. So the bunker clearing, it's a structure. To clear the bunker, we have to do 1 attack, a successful attack, and we have to get, it has a cover value of 4, and we need 1 hit to clear it. Any hostiles in this location will screen it, and bunker can only be attacked from the range 0, so we have to be in this specific location to attack it. It has an entrance value of 2. It will reinforce on 0, 5, and 6. And the hostile value for this team is going to be 3. So that is what we're going to do today. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start by drawing some cards. 6 cards for Yandy and 5 cards for McDougall. So let's see if we can get some good cards. Let's start with the 5 cards for McDougall. And we get Infiltrate, Stay Low. I really like that one. That was one of my favorite cards. Snapshot. That's also a very good card. One of my favorites. Location Marker. And Self-Sacrifice. And then we'll draw 6 action cards for Yandy. And we have Prepared Fire. I like that one. Another location marker. Sniper Support. Reloading. Flanking Attack. And Suppress. All in all, I think these are pretty good cards. I'm going to go ahead and discard the location markers directly and pick or draw 2 location cards. So for Yandy, he draws light woods. So we don't want this one, since you can see it's a nature card, and with our mission card that would make us lose one turn playing that card. So let's hope that McDougal gets a better location. He gets ruins. So let's look at this one. It has an entrance value of 2, none in reinforcement, so that is cool. Pretty low hostile value. 1 action to play, structure. When you play this card, move the timer counter forward 1 space. So that is basically the penalty I'd have to pay for playing a nature card. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and play this one anyway, because it has a low entrance cost. There's no reinforcements. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and play this one. I like it. Let's see. 1 action to play, structure. When you play this card, move the timer counter forward 1 space. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and play the ruins. So we move the timer counter forward. We also use 1 action because it is 1 action to play. And then we're gonna go ahead and draw hostiles. We have a squad value of 35, so the hostile value is gonna be up to 2 points. And we draw 2 points right away, and it's ambushers. And these cards tell us to pay 1 experience or inflict 1 suppression on each soldier in this location. It also tells us frontmost. And it doesn't matter if it's frontmost or rearmost, because the only location we have soldiers is on the mission card. So it is gonna go on the mission card. So anyway, the frontmost does mean that it should be placed in the zone furthest away from the mission card, so closest to the objective card, but it's still going to be in the location where you have soldiers. So we're not going to place it in an empty location. So we need to draw to see who this ambusher squad is going to attack. And he's going to attack number 3. So it's Scott. And then we have the pay 1 experience or inflict 1 suppression on each soldier in this location. So luckily we have quite a lot of experience. So I'm going to pay 1 experience with Scott to avoid that nasty suppression. So there's 3 of these ambushers, as you can see with the, I guess that's called a reticle. Or reticle, something like that. The crosshairs. So there's 3 of them. So we need to kill all of these 3 guys or suppress them. I feel like. Or we could just simply move on, because there is no reinforcements from this zone. So I think actually what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna start by taking 1 shot with Scott, which is player number 3. So he'll use 1 action. And you can see Scott here is a squad soldier, so he doesn't have any equipment. He will hit on a 7. And the ambushers have a cover of 3, so that means we need to roll a 3 as well on the D6. So a 7 on the D10 or higher, and a 3 or higher on the D6 to hit one of the ambushers. And our attack is successful, but our cover is not. So that means that we don't kill any one of them, but we do make 1 suppression. With the second action, I'm going to go ahead and move him in. He has a movement value of 3, and the entrance cost is only 2, so I don't have to discard any cards to deal with that guy. Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and spend snapshot, I guess, or perhaps I should throw a grenade. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and and be generous with these ambushers, I'm gonna throw an MK2 grenade at them, and that means I get to roll at range 0. I will hit on 7, and they have a penetration value of 1, so I only need a 2 to break his cover of 3. And I get to roll a total of 4 dice. And again, I need a 7 or higher to hit. And that's a really good roll. I would kill 4 with this roll, but there's only 3 of them. So I kill all 3 of them. And I'm gonna go ahead and put him in the bottom. And killing those grants Yandy 2 experience points. I gotta say that was a really good deal. Lucky roll. McDougal spends an action. Sorry, Yandy already spent 1 action here using the grenade. But McDougal uses his second action, moving into the ruins. And then Yandy spends also his second action, moving in to the ruins. So I think all in all, that's a pretty good turn. I know that I should focus a little bit less on killing enemies and more on suppressing them. I have a tendency to try to clear up the locations before moving on, and that's really dangerous because that way you're gonna run out of time. So you really have to sometimes just suppress them and move on. Let's reset these action markers. There we go. All right, so we're gonna go ahead now and go to the enemy turn. And the enemy turn, we would normally do reinforcements draw, but there is no reinforcements on this card, so we don't have to bother with that. However, we do have to advance the mission timer, so that's advanced to 7 now. And then it's my turn again. And the question now is, because I only have 1 location card, which is the Light Woods. And that would force me to move the mission timer to 6. That would give me 6 more turns. I could go there on 1 turn, then 2 turns to go over here, and then I guess I could clear this bunker in 5 turns. So it shouldn't be that problematic. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and play the Light Woods. The Light Woods is free to play. It's nature and it's obstructed, meaning that you cannot fire from the ruins to the bunker clearing, since the Light Woods obstruct line of sight. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and, before we forget it, and move the timer 1 space forward. Since we played a nature card, and that is the deal with this mission. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and spawn some enemies now. We still have a hostile squad value of 35, so we're gonna have to spawn Germans up to the value of 4. And we have recruits, which will target squad member Scott. And then we have an officer. Wow. I actually like the officer because he's quite easy to kill and he has a very high point value. So he will target number 1, which is Yandy. The recruits, they screen, let's see, non-recruit hostiles. Yes, so they will screen the officer. They have the recruits have the ability here, screens non-recruit hostiles. However, the officer is screened by 0 to 2, so he would be screened even if the recruits did not have that specific ability. So we really want to get rid of the officer because he will reinforce. He will also inspire, and inspire means that the recruits cannot be suppressed So that is pretty bad for us. Or actually, it doesn't mean that they cannot be suppressed, but it means that during the start of the hostile attack step, you will remove 1 suppression counter from each hostile card in play. So that's how Inspire works, but it's still pretty bad for us. Anyway, I think I'm just gonna run in there and throw a couple of grenades at these recruits. Alright, so I think... Let's see what kind of fun cards I could perhaps use. I don't want to use too many of them. Too many of these cards. Because I'm gonna need some of them for the bunker clearing. So I do like the flanking attack. That does require me to discard 2 other cards, but it will let me perform a move and then immediately perform an attack without spending any actions. So basically I'm performing 2 actions without spending any action. Okay, I'll discard these 2 cards, Sniper Support and Suppress. You've already seen those. So I'm using the flanking attack then. Moving in with Yandy and performing 1 attack without spending any actions. And those attacks are going at the recruits, obviously. So with the M1 rifle, it has a penetration value of 1. So the recruits cover will break. However, I need at range 0, I need a 7 or higher to hit. And look at that, I rolled 7, so one of those recruits are down. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and move in with Scott, spending 1 action doing so, and then I'm gonna fire with Scott at the recruits. Again, he doesn't have combat value. He needs, he doesn't have a weapon. He has just these values. He needs in range 0, a 7 or higher to hit on the D10. And to break cover, we need a 2 on the D6. Ooh, that was unfortunate. Otherwise, it would have been kind of a perfect game so far. But he did succeed with his attack, but not with the cover. So the recruit, the last one, there's 2 of them. The last one is just suppressed. And then we're gonna go ahead and fire with, let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and fire with Yandy. Or actually, I think I'm gonna fire with McDougal. Let's see. Okay, so I'll move in with McDougal, spending 1 action doing so. And by the way, to enter the Lightwoods, there is a entrance cost of 2. I don't have to pay it because my guys all have 2 and Scott have 3 in movement value. So anyway, then I'm gonna go ahead and fire, spending 1 action firing with McDougal, and Yandy is gonna use one of his cards, which is Prepared Fire. Play when you, any soldier, declare an attack. Treat your defeat cover roll as being a 6. And then I'm gonna upgun that with 1 experience because we're using that for McDougal's attack. That means we have to use the bracket and we have to pay 1 experience. And the reason why I'm doing that is because with the M1 carbine, I have a lower requirement to hit. On the M1 rifle, I need a 7 to hit in range 0. But with the M1 carbine, I only need a 6. So that is the reason why we're doing that, because I really want to get rid of this officer. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and roll now. I need, since we used the Prepared Fire, the defeat is the cover roll is already a 6, but we need to roll the D10, and we hope to get a 6 or higher. And unfortunately, we get a 3, so that is not a successful kill, but we have successfully suppressed that officer. Alright, not really what I wanted because I wanted to get him, but we'll try again. Let's get this card out of there. We're gonna go ahead and use MacDougall is gonna go ahead and use Snapshot. You may perform an attack without spending an action, and he's gonna fire at the officer again. This time we do need to roll a 4 or higher with the D6 though. And look at that, man, look at that, a perfect roll. We roll a 6 with the D6 and a 10 with the D10. That officer is gone. He's dead. That German officer has a point value of 3, so he brings 3 experience to MacDougall. So that was pretty nice. Okay, so MacDougall is also going to go ahead and play the Stay Low card here. Permanently treat your location as having a non-reinforcements. So we don't have to worry about any nasty reinforcements, and the light woods have a quite horrible value here of 0, 1 and 2 will be acceptable reinforcements, so almost all reinforcements will be acceptable. The Stay Low has a covert value of 2, so I have to discard my last 2 cards with MacDougall. I still have 2 actions with Yandy since he used the flanking attack. So I'm gonna go ahead and use his last actions to fire at the recruits. So I'll spend 1 action firing with the M1 rifle. I don't need to roll the D6 because it has a penetration value of 1. The recruits have a cover value of 2. So even if I roll a 1, that's going to break their cover. However, I do need to roll the D10. On a roll of 7 in range 0, I will hit. And I roll a 1. That's pretty bad because that means I run out of ammo. The low ammo value of the M1 rifle is a roll of 2. That means I have to reload. However, I do have a reload card, so that's pretty cool. So I'll use the reloading action card. You may perform a load action without spending an action. Look at that. So I've actually now used 4 actions with Yandy, but 3 of them with cards for free and then 1 with the action marker. So I'm going to use a 5th action now with Yandy to again fire at the recruits with my M1 rifle. Again, I don't need to roll the D6, only the D10, and I need a roll of 7 or higher. And a roll of 5. Okay, so these guys are suppressed anyway, so that is good enough. I do wish I would have taken them out, but you can't always get what you want. Okay, so let's reset these guys' action markers. There we go. A lot of experience with these guys. Okay, so it's the enemy's step. We would normally do a hostile reinforcements draw, but we have played to stay low, so there will be no reinforcements in this location. We would attack close range, but one of them is killed and the other one is suppressed, so they can't do anything. However, we will remove the suppression counter, and we will move the mission timer, so we now have 5 turns remaining. So it's my turn again, and I am going to go ahead and try to take this guy out. I'll start with Scott using 1 action. He will hit on a 7, and he needs a 2 on the D6 to break their cover. There's one of them still alive. And I roll a 3 with the D6, so I break cover, but unfortunately I roll a 4. So I don't kill him, I only suppress him. So I'll use 1 more action with him. And again, unfortunately, we don't manage to kill him. So MacDougall is going to go ahead and spend 1 action. See if he's any more lucky. He needs a 6 to hit and a 2 to break his cover. And he rolls a 1, so he's out of ammo. Man, things aren't looking too good. He's going to spend his other action drawing 5 new action cards. And the cards we draw is Camouflage, Steady Aim, Location Marker, Foobar, and another Camouflage. Let's see here. We'll use Yandy, and with this guy we're going to actually draw action cards before we fire. So we'll draw 6 action cards. And we have Cautious, Draw Fire, Sniper Support, Snapshot, Take Cover, and Move Out. So we could use the Sniper Support. Once each soldier turn, attack a hostile card with a value of 0 or 1 and inflict 1 hit. So we could use the Sniper Support to take down these recruits. But I am going to go ahead and try to fire normally first to see if we can get him out. So Yandy uses his M1 carbine. It has a penetration value of 2, so I don't have to roll the D6. But I need a 7 with the D10. And look at that, I rolled a 10, so that's pretty cool. Because that means these guys are KIA. And that gives me 1 more experience point. Whoops. So I don't have to use any of my cards. And these nasty Germans, well, they go away. So I put them in the bottom of the pile. And we have the Stay Low, which is also cool. We don't have to worry about any krauts surprising us. Okay, so let's go ahead and reset these action markers. Take a note that McDougal is out of ammo, so it's not optional or optimal, but I think we can probably do this. Okay, so it's the enemy turn, but we will not draw any reinforcements because we have the Stay Low card, which is the best card in the deck, if you ask me. There's not going to be any attack, close range, or removing suppression counters, but we are going to go ahead and advance the mission timer. We now have 4 turns remaining. Okay, so Yandy, let's see. Okay, so I think McDougal, let's see, should he reload? Okay, so he'll spend 1 action reloading. Look. And then we'll use a free action, activating the bunker clearing. And we have a squad value of 35, so we need to draw hostiles for a value of 3. So we have ambushers, and you know the deal. They're going to go ahead and spawn in our sector. Let's see who they will attack. They are going to attack number 1. Pay 1 experience or inflict 1 suppression on each soldier in this location. So we're going to go ahead and pay 1 experience, of course. So we need to draw hostiles for 1 more point. And we have stragglers, place in rearmost. And like I said, frontmost is going to be the furthest away from the mission card. And stragglers are going to be the furthest away from the objective card, so closest to the mission card. But they're going to spawn in the sector where you have your soldiers. So these guys are, both of them are going in the light woods. So when you play longer missions, you might have a little bit more separated force. But like I said, I like to keep my guys together, because if you start spreading out, you're going to get so much reinforcements from the enemies. And well, I use can't, because then you're just going to be suppressing and running, and I just don't like that. Anyway, we need to take care of these guys now. The ambusher, there's 8 of these guys now, so well, let's see what we can do. There's 5 of the stragglers, as you can see here, and there's 3 of the ambushers. So let's see. The looks to me like the ambushers are actually the more deadly one, so I think those are the ones we're gonna try to take out first. And we are, let's see. I could actually, with Yandy, I could move over to the bunker now that we've activated that objective. And I could move over here and attack the bunker because these guys are in the wrong location. The bunker is screened by hostiles, but the hostiles are over here. So actually I think that is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna play it a little bit chicken. So Yandy is gonna go ahead and use his action card, move out. You may perform a move without spending an action. So the movement entrance cost is 2, but his movement value is 2. So I don't have to spend any cards going in there. I'm gonna go ahead and use one action to throw a grenade inside the bunker. The cover is 4. So to hit the bunker, because grenades have a penetration value of 1, I need a 3 with the D6, and then with one of the D10s I need a 7. So I will get a total of 4 D10s. So a 3 or higher with the D6 and a 7 or higher with one of the D10s. Oof. So some successful attacks, but however the cover is not broken, so I'm unsuccessful there. Okay, that was bad. That's actually quite bad. Alright, let's see what I can do. Well, I can use one more attack and fire with my M1 rifle. Has a penetration value of 1, so again I would need a 3 with the D6, and I'm gonna need a 7 with the M1 rifle to hit in range 0. And again I miss. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the snapshot action card with Yandy, since he has spent all of his actions. So you may perform an attack without spending an action. And again I'm gonna attack with the M1 rifle, the Garand. And again we are unsuccessful. The attack is 10, so we succeed there, but we needed 3 with the D6. So unfortunately we fail. So what should we do now? Let's see. We have Scott. McDougal has 1 action remaining. He did spend 1 action reloading. I should not have done that, because otherwise I could have moved into the bunker and spent 1 grenade. Let's see. So they are going after... the ambushers are going after 1, and they are going after Scott. And I kind of don't want them to come to the bunker, because if they do, that means... they're gonna screen the bunker, so I might actually want to stay with these guys to take care of these guys. Okay, so thinking I'm gonna have to suppress these guys somehow. You know, then you simply hope that there will be no reinforcements here. Okay, so MacDougal, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna use Scott. Scott is gonna go ahead and fire at the stragglers, and he will spend 1 action doing so. He needs the D6 because they have a cover value of 1. I don't have to roll, but he needs a 7 to break cover. To hit them, to kill them with the D10. And he rolls a 3. But it doesn't matter because one of them is suppressed, and that is kind of what I wanted to do. And they have a range of 0. They're gonna attack Scott. That's actually not good, but anyway. And with McDougal, I'm gonna go ahead and spend 1 grenade, using 1 action doing so, and attack the ambushers. So I need to roll a 2 with the d6 because the grenades have a cover value of, sorry, a penetration of 1, and the ambushers have a cover value of 3. And I get to roll 4d10. I need to roll 7 with at least one of them. And, ooh, look at there. Okay, so I managed to kill 2 of these ambushers and suppress 1 of them. So that's a pretty good deal. And let's see with Scott. I am gonna go ahead and take 1 more shot at the stragglers. Again, I don't need to roll the d6. I need the 7 to hit the stragglers. And I roll a 4. However, one of the stragglers are suppressed. Let's see, are there any good cards I could perhaps use? Doesn't really look like it. I could use the sniper support, but I think that would be better to do if I were to get a value 0 hostile over here. Okay, so I'm ending my turn. Let's reset the action markers. And this is getting a little bit nervous now, actually. I thought like, this is going too good. I'm making this look easy. But now I'm not so sure that I'm gonna win. Okay, so we have the enemy turn. We start with reinforcements draw, but again, we don't do that for the light woods since we have the stay low card in effect. But for the bunker clearing, we're gonna do that. So let's hope for a 1 or a 2 value. Look at that, ambusher. Man, how have I shuffled these cards? That's the 3rd ambusher we get here. And that card is gonna be discarded. Lucky for us, because the bunker clearing only 0, 5, and 6 would be a valid reinforcement. All right, so we will go ahead and remove. Well, actually, we're going to do the attack step first, and the ambushers can't attack because there's only 1 alive and he's suppressed, and the stragglers, 5 of them out of 5, there's 2 of them which are suppressed, so 3 of them are alive and unsuppressed. So they will attack number 3, which is Scott. And on a roll of, let's see, on a roll of 9 or higher, they cause 1 wound. And on a roll of 2 or higher with the d6, they break his cover. Okay, so they miss with the attack die, but they break his cover. So he is suppressed. And then we would normally close range with number 1 here, which would go to the bunker clearing, but since he has at least 1 suppression token, he cannot move. So we will remove 1 suppression counter from each enemy and move up the timer. Alright, so let's see what we want to do. I'm going to go ahead now and move in with McDougal, I think. Or should I? This is a pretty hard choice. Well, I think I'm going to do that. So he spends 1 action moving in. Again, he has a movement value of 2. And the entrance cost is 2, so he doesn't have to spend any cards. And then he is going to go ahead and use 1 action and throw a grenade inside a bunker. Let's see if we can get the bunker now. I need a 3 or higher with the d6 since there's a cover of 4. 1 penetration with the grenade. and a 7 or higher with one of these D10s. Oh, okay, we got the bunker. So we got a 5 with our cover. We only needed a 3. And then we got 110. So all of these are misses. But my lucky die from USS Laffey scored a 10, a hit. So that means the bunker is cleared and we have successfully completed this mission. So that is house to house. That is actually one of my favorite missions. I like this one better than the first mission I played. And bunker clearing is also pretty fun. It's pretty. It can be pretty interesting, as you saw, because you can keep bombing it, and if you're unlucky with your D6, well, you're just not gonna have it. And then if you have reinforcements spawning, well, you're gonna be in a world of trouble since hostiles screen the bunker. Well, anyway, thank you very much, guys, for watching. I also want to give a big thank you to everyone in the DWG Warfighter Facebook group, because I've gotten so much help when I've had questions and pointers and so on. So there's a really wonderful community, I have to say, with the Warfighter group there on Facebook and also on Boardgame Geeks forum. So that is one of the things that is actually really cool with the Warfighter game, that that's such an active community playing this game. And I mean, that's kind of rare for a solo or co-op game. So big thank you to everyone in Warfighter DWG Warfighter Facebook group. And like I said, check out the Kickstarter campaign. I gotta say, I think it's pretty much worth it. You pay like $110 for 2 core games. That is really cheap. If you want all of the expansions, there's 18 of them. You can get all 18 expansions and the 2 core games of $290. And shipping depends on where you're located, but that's not very much. It's $25, I believe, in Europe. So again, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. Stay tuned, because I am gonna go ahead and record one more mission after this. So stay tuned to find out what the next mission is. See you next time.